All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Sonic Movie Show, the only show that reviews every single video game movie under the sun, and as the title of the show suggests, also is about the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. Now, folks, you and I both know very well that Sonic 3 is a big thing going on. I'm just going to let you know right now we're going to be spoiling it. Who's we? My name is Ethan, and as always on the Sonic Movie Show, the illustrious, the elegant, the extravagant, and yet also mysterious, Devin. How's it going?
I'll make you eat those words.
Sonic does say that to Shadow in Sonic Adventure 2 as they're fighting in
I wouldn't
the middle
know.
of the game.
I found this on burningforsuccess.com/Sonic-quotes.
Perfect. At least it's a real quote, because some of those are AI-generated nonsense. You've definitely done some of those in the past.
What is truth?
Baby, don't hurt me. Sort of. What is true is a good question, because we're going to be trying to decide and determine what the truth is for Sonic the Hedgehog 4, a film that, if I am not mistaken, as we mentioned in this last episode, is releasing so far. It is dated March 19th, 2027.
Can they stop putting them all close to each other? Because I don't think they realize on this show we review them again.
Right.
And it just makes it really tough when all of these are just happening at this.
We got lucky with the
time.
third one being in December. That at least gives a month.
But we
gap.
got a month gap, and then we get Sonic 1, but then we get another month gap, and I think it's Sonic 2.
I thought that was April.
And then
oh my God, you're
Yes,
right.
you're right.
Wait, no. February, and then there's a month gap, and then April is the fourth month of the year.
But now with this one, it'll be March. So now we have no gap. It'll be 3 in a row.
Hey, I mean,
Gosh.
at least it's all out of the way at the beginning of the year. To be fair.
Fair.
Oh, my God.
But it is always like, damn, dude, didn't we just watch
Yeah,
this?
aren't these supposed to be summer blockbusters? Throw it in June, cowards.
That's where the real dogs compete. That's where the real dogs
They
compete.
consider April
Like Christmas, I'll give them credit. They competed. But the real dogs, the big dogs, they compete in the summer. Show up in June or July, okay, Sonic?
I have a theory that
can do
Sonic
that.
3
You
wasn't
can do
ready.
that.
It was supposed to be earlier in the year, but when they decided, you know what, it's got to be a Christmas movie now.
I could see that.
Sonic 4. All we have so far is a logo and suggestions based off the logo and the post-credit teaser for the end of Sonic Movie 3. That's how you canonically call these films. Sonic Movie 2, Sonic Movie 3, Knuckles Show. That's how you call all those. So Sonic Movie 4, what is going to happen? That is the soup du jour. That's the topic of the show.
Les Sonic de le Hog.
If people have not watched our reviews, our 2 reviews so far of Sonic Movie 3, we predicted a little bit about Sonic Movie 4, but there's a lot going on, and what's even finalized at this point is still up in the air to really be like, oh, well, we know for a fact this is going to happen. But again, I mentioned at the beginning, spoilers for Sonic 3, and all of them. If you're watching this, you clearly watched the movies. The post-credits teaser showed a bunch of Metal Sonics, and then Amy, right? That's it. That's what we got. Cool. And then I made the prediction of a Hedgehog Planet, because we're going to Hedgehog Planet. But then, there's the obvious time travel stuff of Sonic CD, which Amy and Metal Sonic are both from, and maybe we're getting a Terminator type stuff going on. But then
we talking about a Terminator Rise of the Machines
right,
level of
right,
plot line.
Right. We made predictions about human elements and whatnot. And then some stuff came out once the movie hit digital. Some stuff came out, some behind the scenes
allegations.
type of stuff, some allegations. That hedgehog, too fast for his own good, held a woman kidnapped in his basement in June and July of 2016. Oh my God.
Just made a reference to something that no one's gonna know.
Or do
probably
they?
For the
and
best.
if they do know, yeesh. Billy, come on. All right, so some stuff came out. I was like, oh, this is an
Yes.
idea that got cut. This got cut, blah, 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 blah. One of them was for this post-credit teaser, where the idea was instead of the metal Sonics, it was just big robots. And Amy she got her foot down on the thing. And in the background is supposedly, on like a floating throne, is Eggman. And like the world is destroyed. So if that is not a canceled idea, and let's say that was actually like what they're still going for, perhaps Eggman, I guess, is still around, and that does suggest to me the future. Or unless, as Sonic was running on his race, then all of a sudden Eggman conquer the world, doesn't make any sense. Clearly, it's different than what they actually went for with the final film, but it could still be a hint at what the actual Sonic 4 movie is going to be. So, Devin, do you read anything from this? Or do you think that Sonic 4 isn't going to be doing this idea? I'm curious to know.
Well, and I tried to look up more into that. I mean, I didn't really find really much of anything. Games Radar did an article explaining what you said. I did look at some of the art that leaked, and yeah, the Eggman on the throne actually kind of fire. He has a very almost like a Chinese dynasty warrior kind of look to him, which is pretty sick. Pretty cool. But in there, they did mention that in a interview, Pat Casey, Josh Miller, it says, I'll just read it verbatim, told us that Amy Rose almost had a bigger role in the third movie, aside from the post-credit scene, and they have a great plan for the future. I feel like this was, I from what I gather, I mean, I'm assuming they wouldn't just completely throw away these ideas. I mean, and this does match up a bit with the end credits, right? Of okay, these robots come out of nowhere. They seem futuristic. Even if you've never heard of Metal Sonic before, they do look futuristic. We haven't seen anything like that in the present day, I guess, Sonic movie worlds. But I don't know. I think there's some breadcrumbs here, honestly. I don't know if we'll get it exactly like this, of Eggman being, some overlord, but it also wouldn't surprise me if they go that route. It's hard to also know how much this concept art was,
for 3, not 4.
For 3,
yeah.
Or hey, we just need some ideas for reference. I mean, the one concept art with the big ball, of trash, I guess,
yeah.
junk, cars, buses, buildings. That looks like London, so that happened.
Yeah.
It just didn't work for with the pacing of the movie, and they realized they just couldn't do a big set piece like that. The laser beam from shooting the Earth from the arc, basically. They didn't call it that in the movie, but the arc that is in the movie. We got that. Granted, not hitting the Earth, but Eggman versus Eggman fighting happened. The only thing I don't really know where this is supposed to be, where it looks like maybe somewhere in South America or something, where they're in a sinkhole and things are sinking, and Tails is holding on to Sonic and Knuckles. Knuckles has scorpions on his head, is in one of the pictures here. We didn't get that. Maybe that was another set piece, though. Maybe that's
I know that they did cut, I thought was supposed to be South America, or that's where Eggman was initially supposed to be found, watching Telemundo, watching the soap operas.
Yeah.
And they said it made more sense to just move it to... it be in the giant crab thing in London for the sake of set stuff. So maybe they had ideas for if Sonic and Tails and Knuckles are going there, what are they going to do? Maybe that came from just give them a little quick.
The other thing I thought of is maybe that was also, when Shadow throws a little orb thingy and it creates a black hole.
Right.
Maybe that's what that was supposed to be there. Because remember, we do get that scene of everything kind of imploding as they escape in a similar fashion. But at the end of the day, I bring all this up is that it's hard to tell, obviously, from these of how it's definitely is very, very early in the process of making this movie. These could be almost 3 years old for all we know. So I think there's breadcrumbs here in terms of themes, but in terms of actual set pieces or confirmed characters, like an Eggman Overlord, I think we just can't confirm that. I know
it's tough because
we want to, but we just can't. This is so early, and there might be even more that we don't have access to. that might be showing a completely different direction. But I
Right.
think the themes of this is important to at least pick up on. I do think there is some sort of time traveling or multi-dimensional thing going on in this fourth movie. I think that for sure is happening. It just makes the most sense with the robots. And I feel like they hint that because even Amy looks, even though they don't show much, she has a cloak over her head. It just matches up with this idea that she's either from the future or from a different reality, right?
Right.
So
And just like, yeah, if you want to have like, oh yeah, a way in which Eggman has conquered, it can't be like shoot Earth. You know what I mean? Like it has to be an alternate future or something like that, something that can be prevented. You know what I mean? Because then I guess
and there is the possible setup too of like the chaos energy that, remember that wormhole, literally the back to the one thing I said again earlier with his shadow through that little bead thing that turned into a wormhole. Okay, maybe there's some, you can just jargon it up and be like, when Eggman got caught in that explosion of the Ark, it created some sort of time travel.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
And they've established that Eggman could work with anything and create devices to help him escape or
He's just
adapt.
like Kang.
So,
Yeah, because like
so-
we talked about like whether or not we want Eggman to return, but also like does it make sense for the story to just keep having him be in it over and over again? This like this idea of like Eggman in this future won, right? And then it was Sonic, I need your help to stop him. That fits really good for a like Sonic 5. Like a Sonic 4 where it doesn't have him, and a Sonic 5 has that in. Because then it's like, you keep doing the same villain over and over again, it does feel lesser, right? But that idea of like, yes, while you were doing this stuff, I won type of stuff, like, oh, he's back. Oh my god, what's going on? It fits better when there's a gap, and especially this potential idea of like, in the dark future where he's ruled the world, and it sucks, and there's resistance going on. That for to me makes more sense it would have a bigger impact if it was not
but
this
unfortunately I feel like that hasn't been the recipe that they've been doing, and that was one of
Right.
our critiques of the third movie. It really feels like, yes, we got more Sonic stuff, and I personally found that they like I've mentioned before, the comedy kind of, the spectrum of comedy has shifted more to make it more for more so like just either Sonic fans or kids versus having one end being, hey, there's a joke that only adults will get, which you got way more in the first movie, less so in the second, and then I feel like in the third movie there's really nothing like that. And then on the opposite end is, yeah, this is for kids or anybody can understand it, or maybe it's just a reference to Sonic. I want to believe that. I just don't. I feel like unfortunately they're following a recipe, and we're going to get Robotnik again, and it's going to be a somewhat safe plot where there's a conclusion. What we wanted out of this third movie was, hey, we're okay if the conflicts aren't resolved, and that can kind of
Right.
be the.
we
be
wanted a
the-
more complicated story than what we got, right?
Yes, and that's what I'm afraid of. Is we're in the third one at this point. Like, this isn't the sequel. We're in the third one, going into a fourth one. We've seen what the Knuckles TV show has been. I don't think they want to take risks because of, I don't know why that is. I feel like I don't know what it is, but at the same time, though, they have hinted, or not hinted, I straight up have said it, even in the first director's cut, or director's commentary rather, the first movie, is the Marvel movies are a big inspiration for them. Which we both think is either good and bad reasons
Right.
why that's the case. And I think one of the reasons we're negative on it is the chance of it being almost repetitive, where it's like there's a start and end, and once we get out further and further, we add more and more characters to the point where we kind of lose the plot a little bit of like what has got us here in the first place. We run the risk of that, or maybe being too fan servicey or making too many references. There's always a thin line there, or a hard line to balance, right? And my main point I'm trying to say is, like, I don't think we're gonna get that, but I would like, with what you're saying, is, yeah, I'm okay with Eggman taking a break, or maybe he's referenced. Maybe in this fourth one, there's a planet being colonized by these robot Sonics, and Amy's part of that world, and she knows, for whatever reason, she needs to go back in time and get our Sonic and bring him to the future to help just help this one planet fight against these robot Sonics.
I would love
Maybe
if it's
that's
the
it.
Hedgehog homeworld. You know what I mean? Like, and you
Yes,
could say
or
Shadow
whatever.
came from there too, or something like that. Like, that would be cool.
And then for a fifth movie, okay, they've liberated this planet.
And while
then
you were
do something
gone,
well, or not while you're gone, just like, yeah, where's the source? Where does all these metal Sonics come from? And maybe Amy doesn't know anybody at Eggman. She just knows there's this Overlord guy, and maybe the end of the movie is like you realize this guy who's trying to take over the galaxy is this Eggman, emperor kind of guy who's been running different planets. That's what I was trying to get to, where it's like,
you know what this
he
reminds
just
me of?
liberates one planet, and he's like, no,
already
we need
conquered others or something.
we need to go to the source. I'm
Yeah.
the only one who can stop him, and that's where the fifth movie picks
You
up.
know what this reminds
That'd be
me
a
of?
cool thing, I think, but we won't. I don't think we'll get that.
Well, I'll say one thing real quick. If Jim Carrey starts talking to you and says, "When are we doing the fourth one?" you will put him in the movie. You know what I mean? Regardless of what your
Right.
plans were, because who knows how long you're going to.
For the sake of creativity,
Yeah, but you know what? What you're saying reminds me of. I know you didn't play it, but Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Series villain, Dr. Nefarious, although he started in the third game. He always loses, Ratchet and Clank always win, blah, blah, blah. But in this game, they get sucked into an alternate universe where that version of Dr. Nefarious always wins, and it's actually this Resistance version of Ratchet named Rivet, and she always loses, or, it's that idea, and that's kind of what you describe of, like, the Overlord. Yes, you might have done something here, but, like, I got shit going on over here, here, and here, and and I've been doing all this other stuff. I think it'd be so cool, but here's the thing too. I'm starting to realize, we were talking about Sonic 3 in this episode. We wanted a more complicated movie. I'm wondering if they want to do that. Do they want to just be like, all right, what kind of story would be, I don't want to say easiest to make, easiest to film, easiest to shoot, easiest for locations, but like, how much effort do they want to do in terms of like this really crazy story with stuff, especially if this is just like number 4 of 8 or however many they're planning on going,
it seems like too they're still always taking this one movie at a time. They're not really jumping too far ahead.
Increment slowly and slowly, then you're, because what if you go too crazy in this one and then like, man, what do we got to do in the next one to up this a lot? And then it doesn't seem as big, if they don't do that, right, for a fifth go around. I don't know. I will say this right now. I'm expecting time travel. I would love a different planet instead, because I think that idea is cooler. Because we're gonna talk. We gotta.
Or maybe it is. It's still in present, but there's just somehow another Eggman entity, and then you can, at the end of the fourth one, then you can get into like, well, he's from a different multiverse bullshit that you want to do with that, or time travel.
Yeah.
Right. But maybe because of wormholes, and like I'm saying, there's so much space sci-fi logic you can just apply. He doesn't have to even time travel. He can just go to another planet or another universe, still present. You know what I'm saying? But then, if you want to, will Eggman die? Well, I am a different Eggman, or I'm that same Eggman, but like, for you, it
twisted
10
him
days.
Up. That explosion twisted him, and now
for
he's
me,
not
it was
himself.
thousands of years, and I've always been doing this. Or like, I don't know. You can do some fun time travel stuff like that, I guess. But it's also tough. There's been so much time travel, multiverse stuff, so it's hard to make it unique.
I think
but
straight
there
time
is still
travel
potential
in a Terminator sense is fair. I don't think people would find that to be overworn. It's just the like, well, in this other universe. You know what I mean? Where it's potential.
Yeah, I think it's fine if you're doing the same universe. It's just that I was saying, like, I think you could still do and make it cool as if it's like, it's more of like something that is said that like, yeah, when that arc imploded,
right,
I was sent to another part of the solar system.
It's a finite, contained idea. You're not saying there's infinite possibilities, and who gives a shit?
It's just that like
it was always there before, and it'll always be there after.
He got sent back in time in another galaxy, in Andromeda galaxy. He's colonizing that. So even though he's in the present, he's also went to the past and now is here. But Sonic never travels, for example, for whatever reason. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to make it overly complicated. And like you said, be like, oh, anything's possible, because I don't want that either. I think that's the issue you have with
find it lame. Yeah,
it's kind of boring at that point.
Here's
but there's
what
still
I
a
will
way,
say.
I think, to do it. It's just a little overdone at the same time.
If we're doing just shoot, it's time travel future, Terminator, it sucks. Amy's coming back to the past because maybe Sonic's dead in the future in a Dragon Ball Z sense when Trunks comes
or he disappears
back in the past
like
and says
Aang.
Goku died of a disease and no one could stop the androids. It says that happened to Sonic, right? And Amy's come back to like get him to come with her to the future. Here's what I want. We love our human characters. There's one human character we love the most who deserves to be in every single one of these movies, no matter what, right? I want one of the major players in the Resistance to be Agent Stone, who knows that is not the way Dr. Robotnik should be. Something's wrong with him. Maybe he's got some conflicts of like, I can save him, I can change him back.
Or it's not even Agent Stone, but it's Lee playing him like
it's like his grandson or something like that. Because if it's the future, sure. I guess for whatever reason I'm like, oh, it's just 30 years from now. But like, yeah, what if it's like, because Amy could be, like 2 generations underneath Sonic, not a granddaughter, but like in that kind of age bracket related.
So
to
it's
Sonic
his great grandson or whatever, and
it's funny.
It's the same dynamic. Again.
I will say this too.
Yeah.
The Sonic movie fans, I've noticed online, really, really are like, no, Tom, Maddie, and Agent Stone, like, they need to be. Like, I'm actually kind of proud of that. You know what I mean? Like, I know there's the jokes about the Olive Garden guy, and I know the sister-in-law and her husband. They made a little cameo, and Olive Garden guy is dead.
I mean, they're running out of room, too. Like, unless these movies are going to be 3 hours, like, which isn't going to happen.
In this dark future, Tom and Maddie are dead. Oh, no. You know what I mean? But, like, back home,
I think if you bring...
alive.
I think you need to... Yeah, I think if you're going to bring maybe 1 or 2, it's like you bring... Maybe Tom Wachowski is able to go with him in this one adventure, right? And then maybe he has his own B plot with Tails or something.
I honestly don't want that.
But I know, but I'm saying you could do that, or you have Agent Stone just in it. I still want more Agent Stone. I feel like every movie we've been like, we want more of him. We still just, for me, I feel like we don't.
It
still
felt
get
like a
him.
weird letdown to not have him be in the Knuckles show. It was the perfect opportunity because there's no Eggman around. He's clearly doing something. You know what I mean?
He could have been like the main villain or something, or
We don't see him as I don't think he's a bad guy. You know what I mean?
Villain.
Yeah. He's like Team Rocket in that sense, where it's like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? You don't actually want to kill anyone, right? You know what I mean? You just want to steal people.
He fell into this job. He didn't ask for it.
Right.
He didn't work. He didn't go to college for it.
Now to make it easier for ourselves to keep track of our predictions here, and to see how they kind of line up for the future, I've prepared for Devin and I a little bit of a game. Yeah, that's right. We got a series of 18 questions here. They're all on the screen. Go ahead and read them, audience, if you would like, here on youtube.com/@srankproduction. srank is our YouTube channel. Check us out, please, and thank you. We're going to go through all these questions. We're going to go back and forth on answering them. And folks watching the video version might notice there's points. Might be fun to see who wins at the end of this, who's the most correct. Here's how it is. Whatever you decide to have your answer be for whatever question, if that is right, you get a point. So it's potential that one question we could just be both wrong, and we don't need to be picking something different than the other person. It's just, what do you think is going to happen? Whoever gets the most right at the end wins. So there isn't like one of the questions is like a number-based thing. It isn't who's closest. If you get that number right, then you win. That you get the point for that. So I'm gonna ask the first question, and I'm gonna answer it for myself, and then you can answer. We'll go back and forth like that. Sure. You can see my mouse on the screen, hopefully, folks. What is the final title for Sonic 4? I think the movie is going to be titled Sonic the Hedgehog 4. Oops, don't want to go that way.
I mean, they did drop the title card. I mean, they still have plenty of time to change it, but knowing how this has gone, and this is like once again we've talked about like they feel like they've been playing it kind of safe, and like they've grown, but I still think they're playing it a lot more safe than they need to be at this point. That's why have way higher expectations for this fourth movie of like, no, you need to, I want to see some creative risks or just decisions made, even if I don't like them, just for the sake of, I don't want another, what the last three have been in terms of a story of like, this happens and this happened and then everything's resolved. Like, let's have some little bit more dynamicness, I think, in these movies. Once again, we liked the movies. Don't take it so harshly.
We love the movies.
We made a whole show after it.
Yeah.
Beforehand.
Well, so what do you think the final title for Sonic 4 is?
I want to say it's the same, honestly. I want to be wrong, though. I'm just putting me down the same. I don't really have a good title in my head.
Same thing?
Like I don't think it's the only thing I think of it. They just call it Sonic 4, and everyone knows what it is. But I think the official title will still be Sonic the Hedgehog 4. Maybe we're lucky and we get a subtitle, and we both are wrong, and then that's the case. That's fine. I don't feel like it's for sake of points. I don't think it's worth taking a risk on it.
whatever you think it's going to be.
I'm not really even trying to win with this, but
you're just trying to predict. You know what I mean?
At the end of the day, I really don't think they're gonna do it. Unfortunately, I want to be proven wrong, though.
I will just say to your point about titles having chances to change. A lot of these Marvel movies get their names changed. A lot of them get them changed. They make whole logos. They also have
multiple movies, and then
next question.
One of the characters is played by a guy who then has some issues off the set, I guess you can say, and then they have to completely rechange everything. Then they have to get a guy who's in the other movies, and then to get some hype back in the film.
Question for you, Devin.
Yes.
Are Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles all in the movie?
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
I think it's a lot, honestly.
Okay.
Unless they kill Knuckles off in the first 5 minutes, which would be funny.
I mean, that is the thing of, like, when does Idris Elba say no? I don't think he ever will, just because it's
I need to stay back and protect the Chaos Emeralds.
And even then, that counts, I'm just going to say.
Yeah, no, no. I'm assuming if he is shown even for one frame, it counts. He's in the movie.
Now,
a flashback.
Is Shadow the Hedgehog in the movie?
That's a tough one.
That's a tough one. What I want is a Shadow the Hedgehog movie, and therefore I don't want Sonic in it. Or I don't want him in Sonic 4. But, again, he'll probably show up just a little bit, I think. Like, I don't think it'll be in a crazy amount. I don't think he's going to be a part of the squad. I think he'll pop up as a part of the final battle, and maybe that leads into his own movie. But what I really want is him to just be in his own movie, and then in Sonic 5 or something, then they reunite. Yeah. But what do you think? Is Shadow the Hedgehog in this movie?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. Maybe he's at the tail end. He comes and helps or something, or maybe there's a whole B plot with him. I could see that. So sure.
Is Eggman in this movie?
I feel like I have to play my cards right. I mean, like, just I'm not saying and I'm a big Jim Carrey fan. I've said this before. Big Jim Carrey fan. I grew up with him, practically. But at the same time, for the sake of creativity, I kind of don't want him to be in it. But will I think will be in it? Yes.
Okay.
And I shouldn't say that so disappointingly. I think it still will be good.
We like him, but like I feel like I've gotten enough for now, from him. Have him come back later. And, I am going to differ here. Maybe it's foolish, but I'm going to say no. I think
it's okay. We need to break it up eventually.
Right. And then the next question is Tom in the movie? I'm going to say yes, because I think even if he's in just the beginning, that counts. What about you?
I don't want to keep agreeing with you, but yeah, I mean, I think there's going to be my fear is we're going to do the same thing with this third one where, hey guys, we got to go stop the new threat. We'll be back tomorrow. And then maybe this time they really don't go back until the very end of the movie. We don't get a B plot with him. I can see that for the sake of the fans. Like, hey, we still need to acknowledge that these characters exist.
So do you think the same about Maddie?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I mean...
Yeah. It's weird to see them separated.
I can see her not and him be in it, but at the same time, all it takes for just the sake of this is, let's say it's in the future and they're dead, showing that or something. Like, I don't think that they're going to be like, hey, she's not in this movie for whatever reason. You know what I mean?
Sonic
but I think it's just going to be a little bit, honestly.
Sonic finds them all charred up after the Metal Sonics came to Montana and wiped it off the face of the earth
Agent
in
Stone.
2100.
Agent Stone. I'm going to enthusiastically say yes. What about you?
I want him to be in it, but what if he's not? They did kind of send him off in a way that I still was not very
right
cool, I thought. And I feel, and I know he likes the movies, and he's one of the few of the human character actors, if not the only, honestly, who's actually always on Twitter retweeting Sonic stuff and Agent Stone fan stuff. So I think he's a real one. I think he would fight to, like, if there was a reason he wasn't in it, I think he would fight to be in it. So lock it in at yes. I think that's a yes.
Now we will definitely probably differ on this. How many new characters are in the movie? By new, I don't mean OCs. You know what I mean? Silver the Hedgehog counts as new.
And when we talk about characters, we're talking about like maybe people who have dialogue, who interact with Sonic,
right?
Or with the plot in some way. It can't be like, oh, there was Big the Cat in the background, pushing a boulder. Like, it's got to be.
And when I say new characters, I am not including Amy or Metal Sonic because we've already seen them.
Correct.
So beyond them, how many new characters do you think are going to be in this movie?
I mean, there's a chance. I think in the second review, I pitched an idea of like, okay, Amy brings Sonic to the future, this dystopian future, and there's like an underground rebel cause, and that's where you get Charmy the Bee, Rouge the Bat,
a bunch
and all
of
these
throwaway characters that you're not going to really keep, but like, hey, we did it.
We acknowledge them. They're here. Maybe basically you get that scene from Sonic Forces when they're in like that headquarters. We get that straight verbatim. I'm just gonna screw it. Let's go big, baby. Let's go 6.
6.
I think if we're getting a new whole world, we need new characters, baby. We can't just be doing the same crowd.
I'm going to have that number and say 3.
I think we're gonna go crazy, dude. Let's
All
cook.
right. And hey, like, if they're in a scene and they talk, counts. It's not Big the Cat in the background, like you said.
Because I'm saying if we get that scene from Sonic Forces in this movie, there could be 12.
I don't want a Sonic Forces movie. Will time travel be involved? I am going to say yes. Oops. What about you, Devin?
Yes, in maybe a traditional sense of like it's just simple, like Terminator, or you go future, you don't come back for now.
And like we didn't even talk about like mechanics of time travel. Would this be the thing of like, hey, we go back in the past and we prevent the thing from happening? Does our future get erased, or are we? You know what I mean?
You had to do this for the present to happen, so that's all easy logic with these time travel stuff. It's no back in the future. Whatever. Yes.
I think you jumped the gun and misunderstood what I was talking about, but I'll just say sure. And I'm going to ask you this. Will travel to other planets be involved? Doesn't necessarily need to be an either or with the time travel.
Because that's right. We could be doing a time travel.
But that is kind of the thought I had.
/ planet jump at the same. Like it could be one action where it's like, here's a portal to this planet called whatever, and it's
Mobius.
In 2005.
Honestly, they'll probably call it Mobius because that is technically from like the cartoon back in the day, and then maybe the game.
But other planets, we could simply do the ring
just
thing.
One other planet is all I mean. Like at least one. It doesn't need to be multiple other.
It has to be involved. You're saying with the story, right? Like it can't just be like a reference or like Sonic throws a ring and like they go through it for a half second and then does it have to be like a setting, or just want to make sure we're clear on that?
At least as involved as the Mushroom Planet in Sonic 2.
Okay. I'm going to say no. I'm going to go crazy. I might be wrong. I could see myself being very wrong in this, but I could see it if it's just straight time travel, they just make it Earth in the future or in the past or whatever.
Man, I want to differ from you, but I'm still saying yes. Or I'm still agreeing with you, you know?
It's going to come down to like just how many new characters are in the movie.
Yeah, and the Eggman thing, right?
Yeah.
Now, will any major non-villain die? Meaning any hero, any protagonist, any good guy, will any of them die? I think because this is a kid's movie, I'm going to say... But, okay, now here's the thing with time travel. It does not count if at the end of the movie everything has been fixed and they're not dead. That doesn't count to me in this.
Yes.
Like, I want to be like dead and like, hey, we're just never going to see them again. Kind of dead. Like, kind of like Long Claw, I guess, is the only one we've had. Or the references to Knuckles' pa. What do you think?
Well,
any major non-villain die?
What's funny is I feel like we swapped here because going into Sonic 3, one of our things we asked was, is anyone going to die? And I was like very adamant, be like, no, there's no way. This is a kids movie, family movie, but come on now.
Sonic 3 changed my mind. Do?
And then you went in being like, no, someone I think will die. And you were right because the general there technically died. He kind of just was, which is funny. He's like supposed to be like this reoccurring character, and he's basically just killed. And they're like, all right, on with their day.
Well, they were being attacked.
And then he's used as a punching bag. Then Tom Wachowski used him a he used a dead man.
Answer the question
for the cause. A guy who gave him a gift card. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Non-villain die. Major. Fuck it. We ball. Let's go. Yes, baby. Someone.
All right.
We finally do it. Maybe Tom Wachowski sacrifices himself for real this time. I thought I thought for sure when that happened, the Shadow, I'm like, oh man, they gonna do it. I'm like, okay, like I respect it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's put some stakes in. And then they're like, nah, he good. He just broke his arm or whatever.
Yeah. Will Sonic 4 be longer than Sonic 3?
How long was Sonic 3? I think 2.
No
it was
idea.
hour 45. I think. Could we push it to 2 hours? Can the kids sit that long in 2027 when we've all been TikTok brained another 2 years? Man. Longer by 3 minutes. Yes.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to be like
you know,
it's not gonna be like 2 hours and a half.
I'm gonna say no for the same under over.
It's
3
gonna
minutes
be like 3
less.
minutes.
Yeah. Okay. Will the movie ever get delayed? I am definitely saying yes to that.
I'm gonna go no because I think they've already said they were starting to write while this movie was coming out. And the with the albeit without there being another strike or something, I think they'll hit that deadline. Paramount was like, yo, print us some more stacks. Get in the fucking writer's room right now, okay? The kids yearn for the Sonic 4.
They yearn for the Sonic.
Get it while it's hot.
All right.
Yeah.
Who is the voice of Amy?
Oh my god. You know what? I'm just gonna go with someone who's one of my faves right now. Give me Anya Taylor-Joy.
Oh,
she was Peach, right?
Right.
In
Is there a hyphen in Taylor-Joy?
I don't think so.
All right,
but it's probably not a good guess because of the fact that she was just in Super Mario Brothers. But she is like up there in terms of, I guess, of popularity like that you could have.
I need to look something up real quick because I don't know what her name is. But she was
Hillary Clinton.
Yes. Pokemon Go to the polls.
Sonic.
Gotta go fast to the polls. That's right. That's her name. I think it is. I mean, it could be freaking anyone. It could be Amy Schumer for all I freaking know. Although that would be awful. So
no,
bad.
Don't even say that, bro.
She was the voice of Spider-Gwen in the Spider-Man and the Spider-Verse movies, and she was in the Hawkeye show as Kate Bishop, and she's been in other movies and stuff. Haley Steinfeld. Haley Steinfeld.
Jerry Seinfeld is going to be playing Amy.
That's
now, honestly, unironically, if you did that, like just
Jerry Seinfeld,
just for the bit, you probably would sell another like $25 million in tickets because people are like, what? I need to see this. What were they thinking? And he's not even doing like trying to do a voice. It's just Jerry Seinfeld. Sonic, what's the deal with those? Jesus. Where are those shoes?
Will the Chaos Emeralds be used in Sonic 4? I'm going to say no, they don't exist in this future.
They were destroyed, maybe. I don't think it'll be used again. I think we cannot keep doing the MacGuffin of bringing the nukes involved.
Right.
But the kids love Supersonic though. But I'm just gonna do no. I'm just gonna play it safe.
Okay.
I think it makes sense.
All right. Will Sonic and Amy become a couple? And this could even be in the loose kind of flirty sense. It doesn't have to be a label. You know what I mean?
A more of a situationship.
Sure.
I think there's gonna be a full-on sex scene. So yes. No, I actually don't think that. But no sex scene.
Imagine leaving that and then we come back like a year later when we get news, be like, "Why, Devin? What the hell is wrong with you?"
No, I think there'll be no. I think we're getting. I think Amy's image in general, like it was shown in Sonic Frontiers, is she's just the friend mostly. Maybe there is a little bit, but it's not going to be enough to, I think, warrant.
There's a chance of like your girl boss this too much that you like it's off the table. We couldn't even do that because
we can't have a baby. Do you see what we're in right now, Sonic?
I am going to say
robots run the world.
I'm going to say yes, but what I mean is not necessarily like now we're together. It's more of like they're flirting a lot, where it's like, okay, yeah, like to me that counts. So I'm
Sonic says privately to Tails, she's a 10.
Jesus. And Tails like, what does that mean? I'm 8 or whatever.
He thinks it's an age thing.
Will Sonic Movie 5 be announced before Sonic 4 releases? I'm going to say no, even though it was a day before Sonic 4 or Sonic 3 that they announced.
It's because
Sonic
they 4. See the pre-mark, like the
they
box
wait.
office, and they see.
Because there's always a chance this is the last one. You know what I mean?
Money talks too much. Even if the movie sucked ass, I think we're at the point where these movies are guaranteed at least $250 in the box office. So I think yes, they'll fucking announce it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Because the money will be there. Even if they don't want to, they'll be like, "You're making another one." Until these movies bomb,
right.
We aren't stopping.
But like
with or without you, Jeff
they
Fowler.
Could go straight
That's the other
to
thing.
Streaming is the main thing, though. You know what I mean?
Still counts.
Final question: is the Rouge the Bat in this movie?
The real question, the thing that we've been wanting since the first Sonic movie. Shame she wasn't even in that one. That should have been the end credits. I've always kind of stood on that. Fuck it, yeah. I mean, she's part of the 6. Come on now. She's part of that 6 number.
Okay.
It'd be really cool if there is no new characters and then the end credit scene is her though. That'd be like the dream like meme for me, where it's just like like yes, we gave you Shadow. We gave you Amy. Obviously the most logical, most hype character afterwards is gonna be Rouge the fucking Bat. Okay.
I'm gonna say yeah, sure. Honestly, it would be a little wild if they don't have any new characters in the sense of how we're saying it. We're just in the Resistance. We might not be in the movie too much, but like here's an excuse to just get a bunch of the guys together.
Like it's just a bunch of army dudes.
Humans. Ex-gun soldiers. Now that gun is dead.
I used to work for Gun until I saw the truth.
Until the DEI.
Oh my God. Till Donald Trump finally fought DEI.
Yeah.
God damn it. Yeah, will Donald Trump be in the next movie? That should have been a question.
Is the Rock president? All right.
No.
I should have had that be a question. Is the Rock president? Damn. Oh, well. No room.
He won't be. Man, a lot of things would have to happen for The Rock to be president in 2027, considering the terms wouldn't be up yet.
I don't want to vocalize it, but there's a succession order. You get further enough.
That's what I'm saying. There would have to be a lot of things to happen for The Rock to
general election
be the leader
in 2027
of the United States.
Yeah. All right. Well, here is our score, our tally.
See you in 3 years.
We differ on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
There's more.
7, 8, 8. We differ on 8 of the 18.
Okay, that was more than I thought when I first looked at this. I thought for sure we were going to have like 2 different, and it was going to be kind of, unfortunately, not as fun that way.
Well, we would probably scrap it if it was going to be that way then. It was going to be more of just like, hey, we're putting...
I think you did some good questions that kind of, like the number ones, I definitely would force us to pick some.
Yeah. And I was getting to the point where I'm like, we don't know anything about this movie. It's hard to really ask myself questions. Yeah. All right.
Should we do a box office maybe for one last one to throw in there just for fun?
I was gonna ask like, well, here's the thing. Like, I was gonna have one of there be like, is it gonna make more money than Sonic 3? But I want us to like be able to answer these on the review. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
And like, we would be waiting potentially a month after it, or you know what I mean? Like, we just now got like Sonic 3's like box office is like 420 or something like that, 421, something like that. So cool. We have all of our answers, and if we know one of these is true over the course of the next couple of years, we will bring this back up in an episode and then mark off the correct point wherever it may be. If, for instance, they announce the voice of Amy, you know, I would imagine they would before the movie comes out. That would be one that gets, you know,
voice of Amy is another Amy. Amy Klobuchar. Yeah, let's go.
Oh my God.
I'd like to see your hair in a blizzard, Sonic.
What?
I'm just quoting her.
Anyway, hey, thank you for watching. Hey, we're the Sonic Movie Show here over on the S-Rank YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, share with your friends, your Sonic pals, and your Amy buddies. There's a subscribe button, which is down there. All right? Evan's got a Wow, that is the Mad Libs, huh? From forever ago.
Oh, speaking of Terminator, forgot to show this. T2 stickers, baby.
Oh, I thought that was a cartridge at first for a video game. Like, whoa. Oh.
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
Sick.
Put them all over your PC.
I guess they're trading cards and not stickers. But
Oh, okay.
it says stickers on the package. They lied, but it's okay.
Well, there it says peel. You can peel. See right in the corner there.
Oh, you're right. I don't want to, though. These are cool.
Are they, though? Like, subscribe, share, goodbye. As we always say to end this, what a nasty woman.
Amy, you're a nasty woman.
No, Amy's probably going to be fine. Goodbye. But what if they make her really annoying and